Hey everybody, welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with another episode of our 4th Age Dwarves campaign. We are fighting the Battle of Loon. This is a rebel settlement, as you can tell, which does have a pretty small garrison, and we have been besieging it, and now we are... they're sallying out, so we are defending. Oh, what was that? Oh no! Oh. Okay, lesson learned. Wow. Well, I mean, to be fair, he wasn't that great of a... Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay. I think he was an inept governor and an inept commander. Took him out with my own siege ballista. Well, they are effective, right? I mean, just one hit was all it took to... kill my own general, so okay. Thought I'd be cute and try to get some kills through my siege engines here, but that was a terrible idea, as I should have really guessed from the trajectory and everything. Oh, looks like we get a cavalry charge coming. Not going to have too much of an impact on my dwarves. These archers are getting hurt in the matchup against those Ariador hunters, so we'll just get them into melee. They're pretty decent fighters in their own right. Well, we're down one family member, but you know, honestly, they're pretty expensive, so it's probably not the worst thing in the world to lose him if he's not going to be a useful general or governor for us. Alright, so we'll just finish this up here. Alright, there goes their general, and now their archers are in melee, and so we've won the battle. Okay. We lost, almost 30 men, dwarves, I should say. That was a little steeper than I would have liked. But some of that was friendly fire. Alright, so we have captured Loon. You can tell they hate us. This is not a dwarven settlement, so we are going to... you're going to face some unrest. Now, I wouldn't recommend laying desolate in places like this. We want this to grow, so we'll have to see. We'll move around our capital, and we'll lower the taxes. We'll see if we can hold this. 65, that's very close. So I think by moving our capital maybe over to Dwarves, look how we're making 15,000 a turn. Let's see if this will do it. Nope, didn't change it at all. What about Ostenedel? Okay, now it's got a blue face, so we're good. That costs us a little over 1,000 a turn to have our capital here instead of at Erebor, because of the distance to capital penalties, and a bunch of settlements in the east are now going to be experiencing mismanagement. As you can see, there wasn't any over here before. So that's, something we're going to have to contend with, but we will be able to deal with that. Yes, a very heroic death by Brock of Geopolitical. Yeah, super heroic because he got shot in the back by flaming projectiles. Alright, so we're going to build this up to get to the point where we can eventually train, mannish units out of it. Now, you'll notice we don't have any military buildings to build. We don't have any military development like we do in our dwarven settlements. Instead, we're going to get all of our military stuff out of these wayposts. Hireling spears at the first tier, bowmen at the second, and at the third, hireling guards. So this is not the most diverse or useful place in terms of your hirelings, but it's something. It's better than nothing. 12,000. I hope he's got another son coming of age, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Let's see. Do we want to... Let's build here before this guy goes away entirely. I want to go deep mines here as well, just because that has a potential to be very lucrative down the line. And I want to go with some Warhammers here. We did get a scout a few turns back, so we can get him over to this region to see what's going on. Yeah, it looks like Tharbad is besieging this settlement, which is good. It's keeping everybody busy, so I should be able to sneak in and take Sarn Ford without too much trouble. Oh, the Reunited Kingdom took Fornost back. Very interesting. Okay, last episode we took Dol Baran. We basically bought it off Rohan. We're trading with Dunland, and we are allied and trading with Rohan. So this is actually giving us a bit of income for the trouble. Quite a bit of income, actually. And we are working on a mysterious project, a Dwarven workshop, which doesn't tell you exactly what it does. But we will see. Alright, the other thing we really need to keep doing is making investments in Dwerodelf. We don't have a lot of left this turn, so we'll go with a Precious Materials Charter, and eventually that'll start to pay dividends. Okay. Alright, we have a faction eliminated. I'm gonna guess Farharad. Yeah. Alright, that's unfortunate. But maybe Khand is doing very well. That would be interesting, anyway. I am going to be eventually getting some armies down in the region of Khand to get in on some of that lucrative incense trade. Alright, we can go deep mines here now. It's only going to take us 2 turns. Great. But notice now we've got this mismanagement, so now is actually a good time to build these Halls of Tomes that are going to give us a law bonus. I don't have money to do that right now, but we certainly will get to that. And Rohan is expanding up the Anduin to Langwick. I'm not sure if they're eventually going to find themselves in conflict with the Bjornings, but possibly, maybe even the Elves. I'm sure they're going to continue fighting the Dunlandings here, because they still can get to Dunfrecka. So that's good for me. But they are going to run out of foes over here, so maybe they'll end up fighting Ravanian or Rune. I'd like to see a big Rune develop and give the Reunited Kingdom trouble, but then again, I don't want to have to fight them, so... yeah. Alright, Loon is now in a red face, but this is going to help it, I think. Gonna get our spy over here. Okay, and Tharbad actually took 3 ways, so they are growing. Looks like, the Reunited Kingdom has actually, well, it lost Bree, but they just took Fornost, and they've kept the other 2 places they start with, so they may be doing well here. So I'm not going to rush to their aid too quickly. I was interested in military access with Tharbad at one point, though, so let's see about that. And... since we can only spend 2 grand at this point, let's go ahead and do control posts, because in a little while we will be able to start training. The population will be high enough in Moria to do that. Okay, now we are in decision mode. So Rovanian has attacked Dorwinian. Now, it doesn't look like they've done anything. They do not have Wrathwind under siege, and they do not have Belligant under siege. I'm guessing that probably Dorwinion is the stronger faction at this point. They have taken Garth. And they do typically have better units. I don't know that I've ever seen Dorwinion lose. So I'm not going to support the aggressors. I'm going to stick with my Dorwinion alliance. Now that may invite trouble from Rovanion. They may attack me. Yep, they've given me the transgression message. But we're still trading. Yeah, they're allied with North Rune. Interesting. Oh, weird. So the elves, the Reunited Kingdom and Rohan, and are at war with the elves. So what's that? Is that probably Rohan? There may have been an ambush or a trespass on elven territory. Okay, so the Reunited Kingdom and the elves are no longer allies, and I'm no longer allies with the elves either. That's interesting. Do I want to actually fight the elves? I mean, they don't really have anything that I think will be too lucrative. These are very tiny settlements. I don't think they bring in a lot of trade. Mithlond, you know, might be interesting, but I'm not that eager to get it. We'll just keep trading, I think. Again, I don't really want to take Lorien or any of these Mirkwood places. You know, it might be kind of funny to grab the Elven King's halls just as a sort of middle finger to the old rivalry back there, back in the Third Age. But again, I don't think I want to plunge into that conflict just yet. All right. Well, Erebor can build King's Coffers, but I think we might want to get going on law buildings to cut down on this mismanagement. So we'll do that there. Still leaves us with a lot to buy. I'm going to grab some siege ballistas, seeing as Rune is developing pretty large stacks. And let's see, down here, still 7 turns before that workshop is done. Okay, and Loon we can now build Outland Dominion. That'll give us a bit of land tax, but a lot of mismanagement. So it'll again be some time before this is really lucrative. However, we do have, you know, 800 population. That's going to decrease over the next 5 turns until we build our Dominion. We've got 3,000 we could spend, 3,700. Let's go with goldsmiths, I suppose. Or actually, no, let's go with the Hall of Tomes for that law. Yeah, so I'm going to try again for military access, and I'm going to give you... Let's see, I think they denied 6,000. Let's go 8,000. Yeah, no thanks, Rune. Ah. Alright, we're under siege in Nearing-Ziggy. Okay, this is going to give us a reason to get involved in the east. Because this war is likely to continue for a very long time. And that's screwing up our trade, so we really need to address the threat of Rune. We just built our siege ballistas as well. Okay, so Rune and Dale are at war, because they attacked me, so Dale got involved too. Khand has attacked Harad, good for them. I'm rooting for Khand, because Harad always does very well. Harad and Adunabar have broken their alliances, that's good news. That must be because Khand and Adunabar are allies. Alright, what happened with the Bjornings, though? They're no longer allied with me. Oh, because they're allied with Rune, I guess. Yeah, Rune is allied with the Bjornings, so... Jeez. You know, I think that's casus belli, right? Like, that's definitely an excuse for us to go and take these settlements in the Anduin Valley. My only hesitation is I really don't want to share borders with Rohan because they're going to attack me. And they may down here anyway, but I'd rather not fight Rohan at all. Okay, so this is really too bad because the siege blisters are going to be useless to us inside the settlement. We're probably going to want to wait for them to assault it. We don't have a great force here, but I think it'll be suitable. Okay, there goes Rovanian. Jeez. I hope Darwinian does well. What I would be interested in doing is gifting them some territory to act as a buffer and you know, trade partner. All right, but we've got 9,000 still in the bank. You know what? Let's go for hosting halls. Or actually, let's do this. It's going to save us 75 a turn. And let's start assembling an army here. Because we're going to have to beef up our presence in that part of the world. Oh, riders. Yeah, I think we'll have to take them. We don't have any other cav in the area. Okay, and Tharbad has taken Southern Arthedain, so that's actually boosting our trade income. Alright, we'll hold out and see what this means. It could be that Tharbad and the Reunited Kingdom are going to come to blows, because probably Tharbad's going to take Bree. And then they'll be sharing a border with the Reunited Kingdom. And if that happens, then that'll sort of free my hand to get involved as well. Okay, 3,000. Okay, and we can do some retraining now that we built control posts, but our population's too low to train an actual unit. Let's go with, what do we got, 34, 35? Okay, so we'll go with goldsmiths here. 46, 98, so that's pretty good. We just have to make sure they're building siege equipment. So it doesn't look like they're going to starve us out, which is very nice. Alright, we did lose a little bit of income, and as you can see, we're not making as much as we were. Let's go with roads, because not only is that going to help our trade income, but it's going to just make it easier for us to assemble our armies. 5,000. Go with hosting halls here. Going to give us long axes, which are a fantastic unit. Can't really train anywhere currently. Yeah, Tharbad is not holding back, so they're going to come on very strong and probably dominate the north. And, okay, Rohan has taken Dunfrecka. Looks like the Reunited Kingdom is going to take Arundel. Then Rohan will not be sharing any borders with Dunland. And I'll have to look out. Okay, here's the assault of Nearing-Ziggy. Now, this is not a threatening force at all. I wish I had some archers, but we do have axe throwers. So we'll save the game here. I haven't seen any siege defenses of dwarven settlements yet in this episode. We did assault Moria, but now we're going to see what it looks like to defend one of these places. And the great advantage, of course, is that there's only this one gate. Now Rohan is set up way over here, so they're going to be, you know, trying to come over the walls with this siege equipment. I'm going to get the dwarven axemen set up. put a unit there to throw axes as the ladders approach. And I'll put another unit over here, sort of out of the way of the siege tower, because that can shoot at us. Actually, you know what? We'll put this other unit right about here, because there is another ladder coming. So, axe throwers, axe throwers. Let's put some shield breakers on the wall over here. Let's go with another unit of shield breakers over here in case the ladder goes over there. We can kind of sandwich those two units. And as far as the gates are concerned, I'll just put my hireling guards right here. The spears just back from it, and Durin's guard can hang out over here as well. Because there is a ram that's going to be approaching. I don't know that it's going to make it, because we do have towers on the walls that are going to mess them up pretty good. So the thing about this particular fight is, if we don't do something more aggressive, we are going to be seeing a lot of this fight. Because Rune is just going to keep throwing armies at Nearing-Ziggy, and we can hold it for a very long time, most likely. But of course, fighting the same siege battle endlessly is a little boring. So we're gonna try to find a way to prevent that. Because the other thing is that it impacts our income quite a bit. If we're under siege, we're not trading, and that is part of what's costing us so much money right now. Right, our axe throwers are really messing up these Easterling units. I do like that these guys are a sword unit. You know, the stereotypical thing is that dwarves use axes, and for a while I think these were an axe unit. But I thought it would be neat for a little variety. Okay, Forester levies. They don't have any long-range units, which is great. As you can see, the ram is getting hit. Now, they do have enough men to keep pushing that thing once it gets closer. So even if we do pick off the guys that are pushing the ram now, you know, it's likely that they will get to the gates. I kind of want them to, because then they'll send forward, you know, their cavalry over there and all their other units. So we'll just eliminate this stack. Shield breakers just over here, so that they'll intercept those units coming off the siege towers. We haven't lost a dwarf yet. And I think the fact that we're fighting them just as they come off the ladders is meaning that they're not really getting the chance to war cry, which would give them a nice boost. Okay, so they're going to go right around close to the walls, and maybe this ram is even going to make it with just those 6 axemen. So this is their only ranged unit, which they've trained in Rovanian. Skirmishers, these are actually fairly dangerous for us, because they are, well, they've got javelins, and those are typically higher missile attack than, say, bows would be. So over here, we'll just keep this like so. Keep those guys on guard mode. Bring the spearmen over here a little bit. Still not taking any losses. Oh, just got one. So I think coming off of a siege tower tends to give you a little bit more of an advantage than just using ladders. I'm not sure about that, but it seems to be the case, and it would make sense. So these guys are getting a few more of them into the fight. And they're not losing as many men as quickly, I think, as they would if they were coming up ladders. But we're just chopping up all of these guys as they come off one by one. Pretty much as soon as they step down. Alright. Alright, the ram is there. And they are going to get through. We can see the towers are taking a bit of a toll on these other units. Just the lowest tier stuff that Rune can train. So I think going forward what I'm going to want to do is take, what is it, Breg Estalad, the settlement in, just to the south basically of Nearing-Ziggy, southwest, and gift that to maybe Rovanian. I'm not sure. I'm not allied with them anymore, but it might be kind of interesting to strengthen them a little bit. Or maybe gift it to Dorwinian. Factions, I believe, are a little more likely to take a settlement that you offer them if they share a border with it. They don't necessarily want just any old place in the middle of nowhere. So it might be easier to gift it to Rovanian. Alright, we're sending forth the warband. Speed up the fight here. They're not getting through, really. And that's just fine. Over here, they've sent... oh, they did have a unit of archers. But that's not going to work very well for them. Alright, the gates are open. And my hireling guards have managed to see off the first attackers. These guys, again, have kind of like halberds, I guess. Can't remember if they're effective against armor. No, bonus against riders. They've got good morale. I'm just going to send in my bodyguard to hit these guys from the flank since they're pinned. Alright. And that fight's going very well. Looks like they're throwing the last of the infantry at me. Once this is done, then the cavalry are going to go through around to the gate. You'll notice I did nothing with my siege ballistas. Again, there's no point. You can't... I don't think you can take them out through the gates if they start in the settlement. And I definitely don't want them attacking while they're in the settlement, because they're just going to either hurt my own towers or hit my own men. Alright, and this is the last unit over here, Easterling Warband. They're going to be no match for my Dwarven Shield Breakers. Alright, it looks like the general is back there, but a unit of cavalry has ridden around and already been seen off. Fantastic. You know, I'd rather use Durin's Guard than my hireling guards, because you get those guys back. Alright, here comes the general, and I think pretty much all the other units are dead. Or fleeing. There's the captain right there. And there he goes. Alright. No losses, a lot of horse meat. Let's call it good. Heroic victory, we lost 3 dwarves, or maybe men. We lost a couple of men and 1 dwarf unit, I guess. And got a lot of kills. That's what happens when you fight the Easterlings. Now, I hope they don't have another army that they just smack us with immediately. Alright. Delph has built the goldsmiths, so let's see what we have here. I want to keep my Manish troops as a part of the garrison. You know, there's not really any point in retraining these guys because I can't train anything else anyway. Let's bring these guys down here. Okay, and there are a couple of big armies here. I will go ahead and build a watchtower. And then we will aim to get Brig Estelad in the next episode or 2. Looks like Rathwin has seen off the attack of Rovanion, but they've got another big stack. Probably a lot of cav in that. We're doing well building in the north. Let's see, 9,000. Let's go with exchange houses, just for that extra bit of trade. And hosting halls over here. And I think that should just about do it. Okay, folks, I think we will call it there for the episode. We've successfully fended off the first stack from Nearing-Ziggy, and hopefully we won't have to do that a bunch more times in the future. But we're going to take the fight to them very soon. And that will mean we will be compelled, essentially, to keep fighting along into the east. So this is going to be the beginning of a long fight and a long involvement with our Dwarven units in an alien part of the map. And we'll see what happens as we develop in the other parts of the map that we are invested in. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and I will check you out in the next one. Bye-bye.